Billions are laundered every year. And they had RCMP investigations for more than a decade. More than a goddamn decade they've been investigating it. They've been gathering evidence. And finally, now when they took it to court, oh, never mind. Nothing to see here. We can't do anything. You know, at one time they were bitching about laundering money by buying real estate, expensive cars and jewelry and stuff, and casinos. Casinos were the place to launder money. No, not anymore. We don't talk about that, and the police just better shut their...
CTV's W5. Millions in dirty bills.
Get ready, you are going to blow your mind.
A secret bank cleaning stacks of drug money.
Heavy bags full of cash.
And while authorities turn a blind eye,
it was the largest money laundering investigation in Canadian history by a long shot.
Casinos used to clean cash for parts unknown.
Potentially Middle Eastern organized crime.
A lucrative scheme that seemed unstoppable.
There is a general attitude of don't upset the apple cart.
Until our exclusive whistleblower risked it all.
And that was the end of your career?
Yes.
And
you are about to meet a whistleblower.
If people have been involved in criminal activity, then they should be in jail.
Working inside British Columbia's casinos, he watched firsthand how millions of dollars of illegal money infiltrated the industry.
No one wanted to ask the question where the money was coming from.
He was the head of anti-money laundering for BCLC, that's the BC Lottery Corporation. You don't have to take his word for it. This is casino surveillance footage at the cash cage as gamblers arrive with bags of cash, shopping bags, duffel bags, and nearly all of it in $20 bills. Not bundled the way a bank would do it, but with rubber bands, the way drug dealers bundle their cash.
What troubled me the most was that no one was prepared to ask where the money was coming from. The larger players were mainly, a lot of them from mainland China. It was their culture to use cash.
That's what you were told.
That's what I was told.
So don't question cash transactions.
Yeah, and be offensive to these
customers.
These customers, that to ask them the question was where their money came from. You know, there were flight of capital laws in China restricting $50,000 essentially US coming out of the country a year, and yet you have a Chinese national turning up at the casino with $300,000 in Canadian currency.
Yeah, stuff like this really pisses me off because they have spent, well, in excess of $40 million on investigating money laundering in British Columbia alone, and it's happening in Alberta, and it's happening in Ontario, all over the friggin' place. And bringing charges are not easy. But man, let's see you violate a small law or rule, maybe like keeping a church open during COVID. You're going to be fined. You're going to be jailed. You're going to be prosecuted over and over. But these money launderers at the, well, you don't piss with the casino because, you know, they're very important to the economy of a few people. A few people, because the mass people working even in casinos aren't earning the big cash. As a matter of fact, here in Kelowna just a couple of years ago, they were walking the picket line in front of a casino because they weren't paid enough to live on. Kelowna is a damn expensive place for living, in case you're not aware of that. Mind you, now all the provinces, all the cities are very expensive to live in. But it is amazing. 261 days of testimony, 291 witnesses, and it cost more than $44 million. I see nothing. I see nothing. Just let them go. It's nothing to see here. I think criminals, especially from Asian countries, must think they have found nirvana in Canada because they get away with everything. Every single thing.
Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
So, are you guys still holding the in-person service for the 10 a.m. time slot?
Yes.
You guys are still holding service?
We're still doing the online service.
Yeah, how many people are in there right now?
I haven't counted. I don't know.
Counted? Is it okay if I just take a look?
We have a guaranteed right to assemble. We have a guaranteed right to breathe freely. What Canadians don't understand is there's no order that supersedes our rights under the Constitution.
Well, if you're looking for some criminal action to watch, boy, is this the report for you. I'm standing in front of Riverside Calvary Chapel in Langley, BC, where a group of Christians have gathered. This is the second service today, deemed non-essential by Dr. Bonnie Henry until at least December 7th. She wants people to hold their breath that in 2 weeks, the freedom to practice religion may be possible if cases stop in the midst of cold and flu season. But enough is enough, says Pastor Brent Smith and some of his congregation. I imagine not everybody's here, but I'm going to show you what happened today. I wasn't the only one who stood outside the church. There was also bylaw officers and police that were sent here. So I'm going to show you COVID, but let's take a look.
Yeah, I don't want to interrupt your worship service. I'm just basically here to assist the bylaw officer that's here, okay? Yeah. So that's why I'm here.
All right, so it appears that the bylaw officer that was waiting outside patiently was waiting for the police to come assist him. About 3 officers, as you saw, came, and so far, so good. They
friggin' mouth and go on to some... Oh, man, I tell you, I'm talking on. And this is what I am going to try and avoid a lot. Getting all angry about. Angry about how they are still pushing, and I'm not going to say for what, but vaccinations. They refuse to admit, because that would be really bad, that vaccinations harmed people. Harmed. I'm talking about one specific type of vaccination. And if you look up harm, you look up the company, which is Pfi. It's a Phi and a Zer. Pfizer. You look them up, and you're going to find out that they had problems. They released all the, 70,000 pages of documents in which they even admitted, geez, my hair is pissing me off. My hairline is receding. I didn't even realize that. But, oh, one more thing before I cut this down and go on to another video. I've lost weight. You know, last fall when I was all angry, I think I was eating, well, not just last fall, for the last few years getting into politics. It was security or whatever you want to call it. I kept eating and eating and growing and growing. I went from 36, 38, all the way up to size 48 pants. 48! And I looked like little Porky Pig. I would absolutely get pissed off at me when I stood in front of a mirror and saw that big, huge stomach, along with what I would consider a second stomach just below it, hanging down into your lap. So when you sit down, it's right there. You know, that's obesity in a big way. And, you know, I really do wonder with everything the government's doing and how they frightened the shit out of kids and people and made them compliant, how many else are going to be experiencing comfort food? Well, anyway, that's another distraction. I have lost probably about, I would say between 40 and 50 pounds. I'm not standing on a scale, and I still have a belly, but it is going down, going down. Makes me feel good. So, and I'm able to walk. You know, somehow there's a connection between a lot of weight and pain in my knees. So now that I'm shedding weight, I'm able to walk more. The only thing is, because I didn't walk very much, my leg muscles, specifically thighs and stuff, are really weak. So I'm going to have to do that more and more often, which I hope to do because I want to do more photographs and more videos and more everything. It's a good way for, I'm 67 years old, going to be 68 in a little over a month. And, you know, I got to find something to do. And it was good doing the videos, but it was bad for me to get into so deep a thing because our political files are deep, they're crappy, and they repeat themselves. You know, I'm going to start the next video with a repeat, so stay tuned. And have a happy Sunday. Goodbye.